Surfer Girl stories are back. We're going to bring you a new one every single week. This week is Laurane, or as we would like to call it, the love story. Welcome to the Wipeout Weekly, the daily podcast for beginners, wannabe surfers, and seasoned wipeout enthusiasts. No hype, no filler, just the highs, lows, and honest truth about learning to surf and finding your place in surf culture. I'm your host, Suze Wilson. Let's go out. This is Laurane's story. My first name is Laurane, but as it's difficult to pronounce, people call me Love, written like Love, like I'm in love. I'm 33. I've been living in Siargao, Philippines for a year now. It's been back and forth for 2 years. I've been traveling for about 2.5 years since I lost my job in Paris. I was a workaholic, working a lot there, and then I embraced a traveling life, backpacking, solo traveling in Southeast Asia for 2.5 years. I settled in Siargao after discovering surfing, which answers the next question. My first time surfing, if that even counts, was when I was around 24 or 25. I took a 1-hour surf lesson on the west coast of France in the whitewash with my ex-boyfriend, and I didn't like it. It was pretty hard, and we surfed in very shallow water. I remember almost breaking my left ankle because there was literally only about 30 centimeters of water. I didn't try again until I was solo traveling and backpacking. Siargao, Philippines was the last destination of a 5-month-long solo trip. I was on the island for 2 weeks, focusing on socializing, joining yoga classes, and going to some parties. One day, we randomly decided to take a surf lesson with my new friends. I remember this first wave very clearly. In Siargao on the south beaches, at the secret beach. You're surfing in a tropical paradise. You see this amazing beach with palm trees everywhere. You hear the birds, and you get pushed into a wave that's so fun. A long ride toward the beach. I remember the joy, laughing out loud because it felt so good. I had only one thing in mind: to go back to the lineup and take another wave. It was a beautiful sunny day, and we were all lifting each other's up, screaming as soon as someone stood on the board. None of us expected to actually surf, to actually stand and take a full wave. But these long, mellow, gentle waves made it so easy. Of course, the local surf coaches played a huge role. They made it fun, easy, and pushed us into the right waves. I immediately fell in love with surfing on the second attempt in my life. It was so fun that I started taking lessons every day for a few weeks. Eventually, I could change spots and surf slightly bigger waves. A few times per week, I would ride an amazing, perfect wave and feel that joy again. This incredible feeling that it's so hard to describe. It was the first time in a long time that I felt proud of myself for myself. Something only I was responsible for. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was a mix of joy, self-love, relaxation, and challenge. I found it exciting to go back in the water and try to catch the next wave. So I surfed every day for weeks. Eventually, I had to go back to France, where I basically finished quitting my old life. After 3 months in France, packing my things and selling my apartment, I started traveling again, with only one word in mind: surf. I visited Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and then the Philippines again. I wouldn't travel to places without the ocean and waves. I surfed several times a week and tried to find surf lessons and coaches. I started working and traveling to finance this lifestyle and began volunteering in surf camps. I worked for a while at Kima Surf Camp in Weligama, Sri Lanka. During the off-season, I bought my first surfboard, a 7.6 Malibu Classic, which was much too narrow for me. I struggled a lot, but I never gave up. For 3 months, I was in the water almost every day, trying to catch messy beach break waves. There was a lot of paddling, and I clearly remember only catching 1 or 2 waves per session, which was obviously a sign that the conditions and the board weren't right for my level. As a volunteer, I could join some surf lessons, but because the coaches were incentivized by customer feedback and volunteers couldn't give feedback, they didn't really focus on us. I was mostly left on my own. Even video recordings were aimed at customers, so it was rare for me to have any footage of myself surfing, which I think really helps with progression and understanding mistakes. Today, I'm settled in Siargao, and I've been surfing for almost 2 years. Even though I still take lessons with more experienced surf teachers here, I mostly surf alone or try to tag along with friends. I feel more comfortable with people around as I don't feel at ease surfing completely on my own at my level. I do catch my own waves now, start practicing maneuvers, and sometimes join boats with friends. It's hard to say what the most challenging part of surfing is. I'm answering as someone living in the surf paradise, so finding waves isn't the issue. For me, the hardest part was building enough paddling strength. It took me time. But once you have it, it stays. So the beginning is the hardest. Even now, popping up is still challenging because of balance, technique, and the fact that I switch spots often. I don't want to get too comfortable with just one type of wave, and lately I've been training in faster, steeper waves. I'm also lucky not to live in a very crowded area, so line-up stress isn't a big issue for me. As for sticky situations, I've hurt myself several times with my own board, falling onto it after popping up or wiping out and cutting myself on the fins. It usually happens on my lower legs. The worst injury was a double cut, quite deep in 2 different areas of my lower leg muscle. I struggled a lot and needed a few weeks to heal the flesh. It's not very nice to hear, I know. Where do I dream of surfing? I've heard Nicaragua has amazing waves, but honestly, I don't dream of a place. I dream of continuing this lifestyle, being able to surf every day. I'm kind of already living that dream in Siargao. As for surf-related goals, my dream is to perform a snap. Since my very first lessons, I remember instructors splashing water over us while snapping. And I'd love to do that. To throw water over my friends. And longboarding, cross-stepping would also be amazing. My other big goal is simply to keep this surfing lifestyle and surf every day if I want to. And that's all for today. Check out the Wipe Weekly for our free newsletter, more stories and ways to connect with us. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow for more of the Wipe Weekly.